Mr. Sergeant at Arms.
All persons not entitled to privileges of the floor under the rules of the Senate must now vacate the chamber.
Please rise for the invocation by Pastor Hunter Norwick. Heritage Church, Shelbyville, Kentucky, guest of the Senator from Shelby, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Last time I was here, my 6-year-old son, I was explaining to him what y'all were doing, and he looked at me confused and said, "Dad, I thought God made the laws." And that's an interesting observation from a 6-year-old, but also should be humbling to us and cause us to consider the laws that we pass in honoring our Creator. Pray with me. True and living God, we come to you in Jesus' name, thankful for what Christ has done. And Father, we pray for the men and women here today who represent the people of this great commonwealth. Lord, I pray that they would honor you and benefit the people, the citizens of Kentucky, with the decisions that are made. Give them wisdom. And Father, I pray for each and every one of them safety and for the safety of their families. And Father, direct them by your Spirit as they seek the good of this great commonwealth. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg, Senator Boswell, Senator Carpenter, Senator Carroll, Senator Chambers Armstrong, Senator Clemens, Senator Deneen, Senator Douglas, Senator Elkins, Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Girdler, Senator Gibbons, Senator Herron, Senator Higdon, Senator Howell, Senator Maiden, Senator Mays Bledsoe, Senator McDaniel, Senator Meredith, Senator Mills, Senator Neal, Senator Nemes, Senator Nunn, Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Rawlings, Senator Reed, Senator Richardson, Senator Smith, Senator Stivers, Senator Storm, Senator Thomas, Senator Tishner, Senator Webb, Senator West, Senator Wheeler, Senator Williams, Senator Wilson, Senator Wise.
Any member, I would ask you all to check the board. Any member who is yet to answer the roll. Thomas is here. I think that's it. There being 32 members present, a quorum is declared. The Senate's authorized and prepared to do business. First order of business would be excuse of absent senators. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that the absent senators be excused, please.
Without objection, the absent senators are excused. Next order of business is approval of the journal. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that the journal from Wednesday, March 25th, 2026 be approved as written.
Without objection, the journal from Wednesday, March 25th, 2026 is approved as written. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, thank you. We welcome all of our viewers watching us today from KET, as well as those live streaming from our LRC services, as well as any that may be in the annex today in our viewing gallery from the room there that's provided, as we conduct day 54 of this 60-day legislative session. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator from Taylor. The chair would recognize the senator from Grayson.
Thank you, Mr. President. The clerk of the House is here to communicate with our Senate.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. President, the House has passed House Bills 283, House Resolution 110, Senate Bills 59, 101, 104 with letter, and respectfully request concurrence of this honorable body. Also, the House has refused to recede from its amendments on Senate Bill 4.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Now, we would go to our next order of business, being second reading of bills on the calendar. Mr. Clerk, please report.
For Thursday, March 26th, 2026, second reading of bills on the consent calendar. House Bill 178, an act relating to the psychiatric collaborative care model. House Bill 313, an act relating to city franchises. House Bill 387, an act relating to veterinarians and declaring an emergency. House Bill 506, an act relating to the Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources. House Bill 642, an act relating to the Kentucky Teachers Retirement System. House Bill 676, an act relating to the Kentucky Statewide Health Data Utility. House Bill 677, an act relating to geologic sequestration of carbon dioxide. House Bill 689, an act relating to the establishment of a Medicaid state-directed payment program. And House Joint Resolution 24, a joint resolution directing the Cabinet for Health and Family Services to withdraw all waiver applications that have been submitted to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services to establish a community engagement program and declaring an emergency.
Does that conclude your report?
It does.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. All those bills and resolutions having received their second reading are now in the possession of the Rules Committee for further action. We have a report of committees, Mr. Clerk.
We do.
Please continue.
The Economic Development, Tourism, and Labor Committee has met and reports House Bill 480 should pass as consent. House Bill 577 should pass. House Bill 692 with Senate Committee Sub 1 should pass to rules as consent. House Bill 869 should pass as consent with Senate Committee Sub 1 and Senate Committee Title Amendment 1. The Education Committee has met and reports House Bill 490 should pass to rules with Senate Committee Sub 1. House Bill 619 should pass as consent with Senate Committee Sub 1. House Bill 652 should pass as consent. House Bill 727 should pass to rules as consent with Senate Committee Sub 1 and Senate Committee Title Amendment 1. House Bill 759 should pass as consent. The Judiciary Committee has met and reports House Bill 78 should pass to rules with Senate Committee Sub 1. House Bill 305 should pass as consent with Senate Committee Sub 1. House Bill 422 should pass as consent with Senate Committee Sub 1. House Bill 521 should pass to rules as consent with Senate Committee Sub 1 and Senate Committee Title Amendment 1. House Bill 566 should pass as consent with Senate Committee Sub 1. House Bill 762 should pass with Senate Committee Sub 1. And the Veterans, Military Affairs, and Public Protection Committee has met and reports House Bill 369 should pass as consent. House Bill 567 should pass the rules with Senate Committee Sub 1 and Senate Committee Title Amendment 1. House Bill 767 should pass as consent with Senate Committee Sub 1 and Senate Committee Title Amendment 1.
Mr. Clerk, does that conclude your report?
It does.
Thank you, sir. All those bills and resolutions who have received a favorable committee report shall be deemed as having their first reading. House Bill 78, 490, 567, 692, and 727 have received previous readings and are now deemed to have their second reading and given to the Rules Committee for further action. Mr. Clerk, the next order of business is new resolutions.
I have several.
Please report those.
Senate Resolution 197, a resolution adjourning the Senate in celebration and honor and appreciation of the Grayson County Historical Society on the occasion of its 50th anniversary, Senator Meredith. Senate Resolution 198, a resolution recognizing the Nehemiah Alliance National 52-Day Rebuild Initiative and encouraging voluntary prayer, fasting, and reflection, Senator Tishner. Senate Resolution 199, resolution recognizing April of 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Kentucky, Senator Storm. Senate Resolution 200, resolution resolving the Senate as a court of impeachment and providing for the adoption of the rules of procedure, therefore, Senator Storm. Senate Resolution 201, resolution encouraging Kentucky policymakers to study, develop, and implement economic development policies to incentivize biopharmaceutical investment and innovation in Kentucky. Senator Funky Fromeyer.
Does that conclude your report?
It does.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I believe the next order of business, Senator from Taylor, is orders of the day.
Mr. President, before that, I do need to make a motion, please.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 59, Senate Bill 101, Senate Bill 104 be placed in the orders of the day for concurrence or non-concurrence.
Without objection, Senate Bill 59, 101, 104 shall be placed in the orders of the day for concurrence or non-concurrence. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I also make the motion and move that House Bill 78, House Bill 490, House Bill 567 all be taken from the Rules Committee and placed in the orders of the day.
Without objection, House Bill 78, 490, 567 are taken from the Rules Committee and placed in the orders of the day. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, with that, if you would have the clerk please display the concurrence orders, please.
Senator from Taylor, they are displayed.
Mr. President, with that, I move that Senate Bill 245 with House Committee Sub 1 be taken from the orders of the day for concurrence.
Mr. Clerk, if you would, please report Senate Bill 245.
Senate Bill 245, an act relating to tobacco, nicotine, or vapor product licensure and declaring an emergency.
Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate not concur.
Wait, we need a report. Sorry about that. He asked the 245 be taken from its place in the orders today with the committee substitute. Mr. Clerk, we also need to report the committee substitute.
Thank you, Mr. President.
House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 245.
Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, with that, I move that the Senate not concur with House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 245.
The matter before the body is a motion for non-concurrence. An aye vote is for non-concurrence. All those in favor of not concurring, say aye. Aye. Opposed. Ayes have it. The Senate does not concur with the House Committee substitute. The House floor amendment attaches and follows. Therefore, it is not concurred with either. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, with that, I make the motion that the following members be appointed to the Conference Committee, Free Conference Committee on Senate Bill 245. The Senator from Carter as chair, the Senator from Laurel, and the Senator from Jefferson 37.
Madam Clerk, upon that motion, those will be the Conference and Free Conference Committee members. Please send letter to the House. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, with that, I move that Senate Bill 59 be taken from the concurrence orders.
Mr. Clerk, if you would, please report and display, Madam Clerk, Senate Bill 59.
Senate Bill 59, an act relating to prohibited use of tax dollars and resources.
Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, please have the clerk report House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 59.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 59.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for concurrence.
The matter for the body is concurrence with House Committee Substitute Number 1. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. House Committee Substitute Number 1 is concurred with. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I also move that House Floor Amendment 2 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 59 please be reported.
Mr. Clerk, please report House Floor Amendment Number 2.
House Floor Amendment 2 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 59.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for concurrence.
The matter for the body is concurrence with House Floor Amendment Number 2. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Senate does concur with House Floor Amendment Number 2. Motion on the bill as amended and concurred with. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move for final passage of Senate Bill 59 as amended.
The matter for the body is final passage of Senate Bill 59 as amended and concurred with by this body. Seeing no other member seeking recognition, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Boswell. Senator Carpenter. Senator Carroll. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Clemens. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Elkins. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Girdler. Senator Gibbons. Senator Herron. Senator Higdon. Senator Howell. Senator Maiden. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Meredith. Senator Mills. Senator Neal. Senator Nemus. Senator Nunn. Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Rawlings. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith. Senator Stivers. Senator Storm. Senator Thomas. Senator Tishner. Senator Webb. Senator West. Senator Wheeler. Senator Williams. Senator Wilson. Senator Wise.
Seeing no member seeking recognition to cast, change, or explain their vote, there being 29 yeas, 8 nays, Senate Bill 59 as amended and concurred with by this body is finally passed. Senator from Taylor. Do we have back, was there a title? No title amendment. Okay. Chair would recognize the senator from Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Enrollment Committee has met and finds the following bills are in order and ready for your signature. House Bills 43, 45, 48, 49, 56, 111, 136, 164, 184, 188, 266, 281, 293, 307, 333, 379, 388, 392, 393, 436, 448, 510, 518, 527, 529, 565, 600, and 611, Mr. President. That's the kind of thing the Enrollment Committee does. We crank stuff like that out in short order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 43. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 45. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 48. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 49. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 56. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 111. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 136. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 164. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 184. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 188. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 266. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 281. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 293. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 307. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 333. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 379. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 388. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 392. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 393. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 436. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 448. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 510. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 518. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 527. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 529. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 565. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 600. Chair is ready to sign House Bill 611. I believe that's it. All right. Senator from Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, if you would, I move that Senate Bill 73 with House amendments be taken from the orders of the day for concurrence.
Mr. Clerk, if you would please report Senate Bill 73.
Senate Bill 73, an act relating to tallow-based cosmetic products.
Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, please have the clerk report House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 73.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 73.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for concurrence.
The matter for the body is concurrence with House Committee Substitute Number 1. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Ayes have it. House Committee Substitute Number 1 is concurred with. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, please have the clerk report House Floor Amendment 1 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 73.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 73.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for concurrence.
The matter for the body is concurrence with the House Floor Amendment Number 1. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Ayes have it. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move for final passage of Senate Bill 73 as amended.
Matter for the body is final passage of Senate Bill 73 as amended and concurred with by the Senate. Seeing no members seeking recognition, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg, Senator Boswell, Senator Carpenter, Senator Carroll, Senator Chambers Armstrong, Senator Clemens, Senator Deneen, Senator Douglas, Senator Elkins, Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Girdler, Senator Givens, Senator Herron, Senator Higdon, Senator Howell, Senator Maiden, Senator Mays Bledsoe, Senator McDaniel, Senator Meredith, Senator Mills, Senator Neal, Senator Nemus, Senator Nunn, Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Rawlings, Senator Reed, Senator Richardson, Senator Smith, Senator Stivers, Senator Storm, Senator Thomas, Senator Tishner, Senator Webb, Senator West, Senator Wheeler, Senator Williams, Senator Wilson, Senator Wise.
Rocky Adams is an aye. Howe is an aye. Any other members seeking recognition? Senator Neal is an aye. There being 35 yeas, 3 nays, Senate Bill 73 is amended and concurred with by this body is finally passed. Action on a title amendment. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, please have the clerk report House Committee Title Amendment 1 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 73.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Committee Title Amendment 1 to House Floor Amendment 1 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 73.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for concurrence.
Without objection, title amendment is concurred with. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 101 with House amendments be taken from the order of the day for concurrence.
Mr. Clerk, if you would, please report Senate Bill 101.
Senate Bill 101, an act relating to children.
Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, please have the clerk report House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 101.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 101.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for concurrence.
The matter for the body is concurrent. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Senate does concur with House Committee Substitute Number 1. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, please have the clerk report House Floor Amendment 2 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 101.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 2 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 101.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for concurrence.
The matter for the body is concurrence with House Floor Amendment Number 2. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed. Ayes have it. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, please have the clerk report House Floor Amendment 3 to House Floor Amendment 2 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 101.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 3 to House Floor Amendment 2 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 101.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for concurrence.
Matter for the body is concurrent. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. House Floor Amendment Number 3 is concurred with. Senator from Taylor.
And Mr. President, please have the clerk report House Floor Amendment 5 to House Floor Amendment 3 to House Floor Amendment 2 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 101.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 5 to House Floor Amendment 3 to House Floor Amendment 2 to House Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 101.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for concurrence.
The matter for the body is concurrence with House Floor Amendment Number 5. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? House Floor Amendment Number 5 is concurred with. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, to make this easier, I move for final passage of Senate Bill 101 as amended.
The matter for the body is final passage of Senate Bill 101 as amended. Seeing no one seeking recognition, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Boswell, Senator Carpenter, Senator Carroll, Senator Chambers Armstrong, Senator Clemens, Senator Deneen, Senator Douglas, Senator Elkins, Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Girdler, Senator Givens, Senator Herron, Senator Higdon, Senator Howell, Senator Maiden, Senator Mays Bledsoe, Senator McDaniel, Senator Meredith, Senator Mills, Senator Neal, Senator Nemes, Senator Nunn, Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Rawlings, Senator Reed, Senator Richardson, Senator Smith, Senator Stivers, Senator Storm, Senator Thomas, Senator Tishner, Senator Webb, Senator West, Senator Wheeler, Senator Williams, Senator Wilson, Senator Wise.
There being 30 yeas, 6 nays, Senate Bill 101 as amended and concurred with by the Senate is finally passed. 31 yeas, 32. Okay, Chair's going to call this again. Now that we have a full count, there being 32 yeas, 6 nays, Senate Bill 101 as amended and concurred with by the Senate is finally passed. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, we're going to pass over Senate Bill 104, but ask that it retain its place in the concurrence orders.
Without objection, Madam Clerk, we are passing over, but it will retain its place in the orders of the day. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, if you would, please have the clerk display the regular orders.
What did we do with 245? Did we just pass over? We're just sitting, it stays. 245. Okay. They are displayed. Senator from Green, do you some chair? Are you doing any? Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 185 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title only, and placed upon its passage.
Mr. Clerk, if you would, please report Senate Bill 185. You would be.
Senate Bill 185, an act relating to branch budget recommendations. Senator McDaniel.
Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I yield to the Senator from Kenton for explanation of the bill.
Senator from Kenton, the chair recognizes you for the purpose of action on Senate Bill 185 and amendments thereto.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would you please ask the clerk to report Senate Committee Substitute 1 to Senate Bill 185?
Mr. Clerk, please report.
Senate Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 185.
Senator from Kenton.
Move adoption.
Motion for the bodies on adoption of the committee sub. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Senate Committee Substitute 1 to Senate Bill 185 is adopted. Senator from Kenton.
Mr. President, would you please ask the clerk to report Senate Floor Amendment 1 to Senate Committee Substitute 1 to Senate Bill 185?
Mr. Clerk, please report Senate Floor Amendment 1.
Senate Floor Amendment 1 to Senate Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 185.
Senator from Kenton.
Speak on the amendment.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, the amendment simply moves a purchasing threshold in the underlying Senate Committee Substitute from $5,000 to $20,000, and it states instead of a limitation of an enrollment of 1,000, a target enrollment of at least 1,000. That is everything the amendment does. If there are no objections, I would move adoption.
Motion for the bodies on adoption of Senate Floor Amendment 1 to Senate Committee Substitute 1 to Senate Bill 185. Seeing no members seeking recognition to speak on the motion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Senate Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Senator from Kenton.
Speak on the measure.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we sit here today, I must start by saying that I'm very happy with the place that we have arrived. As many of you know, the conversation that led us to our point today started with a very basic question in January, which is how are we going to close Kentucky State University? Over the course of the past decade, many of us have experienced great frustration with Kentucky State University, and after the events of last winter, when we returned here in January, closure of the institution was high on everyone's mind. However, over the course of the past few months while we were back here, many of us had a chance to meet with Dr. Acapo. After taking a hard look at many of the things that have happened at Kentucky State University under his leadership, and after hearing his recognition of the great days of the past of Kentucky State University and his vision for the future of the university, we became convinced that now was not the time to close Kentucky State, but rather to be a partner in the redefinition of this institution and what it can mean for the Commonwealth. I can say without hesitation that the product in front of you is only possible because of the immense work by Dr. Acapo, Dr. Thompson, the Senator from Jefferson, Senate leadership, and House leadership. This work is a recognition of the importance of a vibrant HBCU in the Commonwealth. It is a recognition that high standards will lead to great outcomes, and it is a vote of confidence in Dr. Acapo's leadership of the university and our belief that with our partnership, the university can return to the glory that it once knew. Under this bill, Kentucky State University will transition to a polytechnic university over the next 5 years, much akin to Virginia Tech, Cal Poly, and many others. Exigency is declared at the university and employment protections are removed for the time being, with decisions related to employment being at the sole discretion of the current president. A minimum GPA for admission is raised to 2.5 with an 18 ACT. No student with over $1,000 in debt can be enrolled beyond 30 days of the date that amount is due. All fraternities and sororities must reapply for their charters. Any person owing Kentucky State University money shall have any tax return intercepted by Department of Revenue, and we direct Department of Revenue to work with the federal government to do the same for those who live outside of the Commonwealth. We invest in an expanded online offering for liberal arts programs, and the president will have the sole discretion as to the readmittance of students. The base funding for Kentucky State is frozen for 2027-2028, and CPE will continue to provide oversight of the university transactions. All financial transactions are transferred to the state's EMAR system, and finally, in this bill, there is a clause encouraging the partner in the public-private partnership at Kentucky State to potentially have a good conversation about ways that they can ease some of the onerous requirements that I described on this floor a week ago. There are also financial commitments to Kentucky State that have been made, are not part of this bill, but will be in forthcoming measures. Mr. President, I'm sure that there will be other comments on this measure, but at the appropriate time, I would move for passage of Senate Bill 185 as modified by Senate Committee Substitute 1 and Senate Floor Amendment 1.
Motion for consideration by the body is on the passage of Senate Bill 185 as amended. Members seeking recognition to speak on the motion. Senator from Jefferson 35.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will the senator from Kenton yield to a question?
Senator from Kenton, will you yield to a question?
I will yield, sir.
He will yield, Senator.
Thank you, President and Senator from Kenton. I know that you mentioned this just now, but I do have just clarifying questions on page 4. I believe it's line 20 that talks about the amount that students may owe. I just want to talk for a little bit, and then I will set up the question. I'm just a little concerned about the way that language reads. It's not very clarifying to me. I really think about some of our first generation students, students who may get behind financially, and just understanding what that safeguard is going to be. $1,000 is when we're talking about education. It's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. And then that time period, I'm just really curious about how those individuals will be able to make that up. Can you just clarify for me is this an automatic that when students get behind $1,000 that they're automatically, if they do not pay it in that time period, they're forever kicked out of school? That's how I read it. Can you just clarify how that is going to play out in real time?
Senator from Kenton.
Absolutely, and that's an outstanding question, and I do appreciate it because this gets into a lot of academic finance verbiage here. So the term is owe and doing, due and owing. And what that means is so long as you set a payment plan up with Kentucky State and you continue to make payments in accordance with the payment plans, you are not considered delinquent. In addition, the 30-day clock does not start ticking until the debt is referred from Kentucky State University. So it gives them some opportunity to work with that young person. And then once the debt is discharged, they are eligible for readmittance to Kentucky State. And I will tell you, this is a very nuanced and complicated thing to work your way through. I will tell you, it took a lot of time with the drafter to understand and make sure as to how this worked yesterday, but that is how this mechanism works.
Senator from Jefferson 35.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I just speak on the bill?
Please proceed.
Thank you, and I do want to thank the gentleman, or the senator from Kenton, on your hard work on this piece of legislation. As someone who grew up and has lived in Kentucky pretty much my whole life, I will say I did not attend Kentucky State University, but I do have a lot of friends and family who are alums, and I actually have two cousins who are freshmen who attend the university right now. And from my understanding, that we as a state, and it's not necessarily we as the people in this body, but as a state collectively, we have not done the best job of investing in Kentucky State University. And so I am I'm happy that we are at a point that we are going to do that, but it is very concerning of just what we have not done in the past and now where we are. And when I learned about this piece of legislation yesterday, honestly, I was not very happy about it and was going to be a no vote. And part of it was because I didn't know what was in the bill. I had not had a chance to speak and talk to people. So I am glad that we had the grace period. And last night I did my homework and I talked to some folks, and I do have a better understanding now why we got to this point. It is a very scary place to be, but I do believe that it is the best path forward for the university and for us as a body. And I will say this. I think that there are some great things in this. I would like to give some additional suggestions of things that we can do. I know that some of our other universities have initiatives for state workers or for our LRC staff to go back to school. And so I would like to see us to do that with KSU, to have some type of a discount or some type of program to skill our workers up, people who are already in the workforce, to attend KSU and to help that university. And then the last thing that I will say is to previous alum, or to our alumni and people in the community, this is really a state of emergency. And we have to do what we need to do as a collective, not blame each other for what has happened in the past, but really come together as a collective to ensure that Kentucky State University is able to thrive and becomes that premier university in which we know it can be. And so again, I want to thank the folks for your leadership and your work on it, and I will be a yes on this.
Senator from Jefferson 33 to speak to the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am an alum of Kentucky State University, a proud alum. And since it came into being in 1886, and since then, it's been on a long journey. I have to put this into context because I think there's a strong argument and indications that along that journey that Kentucky State was not given the support that it needed over that period of time. I think there's some other challenges that happened at that university as well over time, and I certainly was aware of it when I was there then, when they called it Kentucky State College, that we were well aware of the challenges then with respect to the university, but notwithstanding the challenges that took place, I can point to people all over the country, all over the Commonwealth, that stand in positions of importance and prominence that have contributed greatly to the Commonwealth, to the nation, and to the world. And I'm talking about in every aspect of life. So the value of the university is not a question to me. In fact, I speak to a number of these people on an ongoing basis. What has happened over the period of time leading up to here is a reality. I agree with the statements that were made before. This is not a time for pointing fingers. It's a time for coming together. And that's why I must say that I appreciate the way the senator from Kenton handled this matter. He responded to questions I made. He responded to issues I put on the table. He responded clearly and was responsive to concerns I had regarding this legislation, including the amendment that was put on the floor today. And I can't find fault in that. He answered my questions. He was forthright with those questions, with those answers. So what I see here is not only the retaining of the land grant institution. We know that which grows out of the 1890 requirements. But we also recognize that now there is a ability now to have a new start and to go into a position where it can project itself into the future and become even more relevant as a polytechnic institute. But I do want to say that I think it's important for us to keep in mind, and I think the room is there, that the liberal arts historical mission is still a very important thing. And I think there's room within this piece for that to happen. And what encourages me about that is that the senator from Kenton used the word partnership. That's important. Those are important words. So we're not just talking about, holding someone accountable or making sure that something works a certain way, but this is about we are putting an investment into the university calculated for it to obtain success in the areas that it's now embracing. But I do want to say that I look forward to moving forward with this. I look forward with engaging members of this body and elsewhere in contributing to the success and the outcome that we're all looking for and hoping for and know that can happen under the leadership of Dr. Akapo. That's one thing we have in mind that we all agree upon. So I want to say this in closing, that if we invest properly, and that's going to be reflected in the bill that's going to be part of the budget bill, if we invest properly, and I believe that is calculated to do that as we've discussed previously, then we will see and celebrate an outcome that we all can embrace. And I think that's going to be a tribute not only to the individuals in this room, but everyone that's lived that history, that is concerned about that university, that supports that university, and its historical purposes, which still has a role in producing value in this Commonwealth. With that said, I intend to vote aye, and I encourage everyone else to vote aye on this bill.
Again, the motion for consideration by the body is on the passage of Senate Bill 185 as amended. Any members seeking recognition to speak on the motion that have not previously been recognized? Seeing none. Senator from Jefferson 35, we're going to come back to you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I did forget to mention one other thing that is concerning to me about this legislation, and it's the admissions criteria. And I understand that we need to have higher standards, but I will say this. I was a student who was a great student, finished high school with a GPA above a 2.5, but was not a good good test taker. And so under these provisions, I would not have been able to be admitted with an 18 of an ACT. Did not get an 18. I think that my score was a 16. And so I would just ask us to really look at that and maybe have some other type of language that would allow some type of flexibility with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members seeking recognition to speak on the motion for passage? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Boswell. Senator Carpenter. Senator Carroll. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Clemens. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Elkins. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Girdler. Senator Givens.
Aye.
Senator Herron. Senator Higdon. Senator Howell. Senator Maiden. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel.
Senator from Kenton, please cast your vote and explain.
Thank you, sir. I cast an aye vote, and I want to explain by saying I want to recognize two people in particular, people who are both colossal figures in the history of the General Assembly and also legislative mentors of mine who have displayed not only the utmost of statesmanship but also of gentlemanly conduct, and I really look up to. The first is the senator from Jefferson 33. Kentucky State has no greater advocate in this body than him. The second is the former gentleman from Kenton, Arnold Simpson, who I've always considered to be a mentor of how we should behave here, both very distinguished alums of Kentucky State University. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Meredith.
Senator from Grayson, please cast your vote and then explain.
I vote aye, but I have to admit I'm very conflicted on this vote because a lot of the arguments I'm hearing today I heard 4 years ago. But as the senator from Kenton said, I vote aye out of respect for the senator from Jefferson 33. Been a great colleague. I believe in him, and I believe that he will do his utmost to make Kentucky State University a success, but he can't do it by himself. And I would challenge the alumni, meaning that he's identified today as making great contributions to our state and our nation, but also step up, make those contributions to Kentucky State University. I don't think there's a person in this body that does not want to see Kentucky State University succeed, but it's got to be a true team effort. Thank you.
Senator Mills. Senator Neal. Senator Nemes. Senator Nunn. Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Rawlings. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith. Senator Stivers. Senator Storm. Senator Thomas.
Senator from Fayette 13, please cast your vote and then explain.
Mr. President, I'm going to vote aye, but I want to follow the lead of the senator from Kenton and say thanks to two people. First of all, I want to thank the senator from Kenton. When you work on a state budget, it is a lot of hard work. I just know how much time I've put in, and I've put in not nearly the hours and labor and effort and sweat that he's put in. So I want to rise today to say, not just on this bill, but this bill was very, very important to me. I want to thank him for all he does for this state and his leadership in putting together the budget and working on this matter. This took a long, long time. So I want the people to know that he deserves a great deal of gratitude and thanks for the work he does as the budget leader in this chamber. But there's another gentleman that I want to thank as well, because I work with him closely every day. We're on the phone late at night, we're on the phone early in the morning, we go to each other's houses and talk. And that's the senator from Jefferson 33. And when you talk about a giant of a man, someone who's a real champion for the people of the state, and I will tell everyone who labored tirelessly to make sure that Kentucky State University got across the finish line. That's the senator from Jefferson 33. I just have to get up and tell you, how much he works every day for the people of Kentucky, and how this bill would not have happened without his constant attention. I don't know if he ever got any sleep, how hard he worked on this. But I want to thank him for all the work he did on Kentucky State. There's much work to do, but I think now today, we close the books on what's happened in the past. We take good faith efforts, both from Kentucky State University's standpoint and from the state of Kentucky, to make sure it's a true partnership, that we're all invested to make Kentucky State University what it's always been. You know, a true educational leader in the state. Its alumni is imminent. We want to continue to make it better and better and a contributor to this state. With that, saying that, Mr. President, I vote aye.
Senator Tishner. Senator Webb. Senator West. Senator Wheeler. Senator Williams.
So from Boone 20, please cast your vote and then explain.
Mr. President, I'd like to explain my aye vote, and I also want to thank one other person has mentioned these people, and I don't know that people realize how dire the straits were for KSU before they came here, because I talked to a number of them, and it wasn't about them getting their asset preservation money, which is provided for. It wasn't about them getting their money for their additional science and technology for their nursing school. It was about whether we're going to end this session with them even operating as a university. So these individuals that have been mentioned have really climbed a hard hill. And there's one other that I'd like to thank, and that is the senator from Greene, who we don't always agree on a lot of things, but the senator from Greene, he shot the truth. He pulled that group together, and he also had an instrumental vision for the university. And I want to thank him. He deserves that, because it was a team effort that, quite frankly, I don't think any member of that team thought that we would arrive at this point in this session with the university having a good path forward and the resources they need. And one other individual, Dr. Acapo, he is who we are trusting to get it done. And his character and his commitment to the university is what has won me over, and I think has won over many others. So I vote aye, and I thank all of these individuals who have worked so hard to literally do the impossible.
Senator Wilson. Senator Wise.
Any member seeking recognition to change or explain their vote? Seeing none, there being 38 aye votes, no nay votes, Senate Bill 185 as amended is passed. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, please have the clerk report Senate Committee Title Amendment 1 to Senate Floor Amendment 1 to Senate Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 185.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
Senate Committee Title Amendment 1 to Senate Floor Amendment 1 to Senate Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 185.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for adoption.
Motion for adoption of the title amendment. Hearing no objection, the title amendment is adopted. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that House Bill 4 be taken from its place in the order of the day, read for the third time by title only, and placed upon its passage.
Mr. Clerk, please report House Bill 4.
House Bill 4, an act relating to grooming a minor.
Senator from Taylor.
President, I yield to the Senator from Oldham for explanation of the bill.
Senator from Oldham, you're recognized for the purpose of action on House Bill 4 and amendments thereto.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can you have the clerk please report Senate Committee Substitute 1?
Mr. Clerk, please report.
Senate Committee Sub 1 to House Bill 4.
Senator from Oldham.
Move for adoption of Senate
Motion
Committee.
for the body on the adoption of Senate Committee Substitute 1. All those in favor of the motion for adoption say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Senate Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Senator from Oldham.
Mr. President and members of the Senate, House Bill 4 takes an important step to protect Kentucky children and their families by clearly defining and criminalizing the predatory behavior commonly known as grooming. This legislation recognizes grooming for what it is, a calculated, manipulative, and deceptive process in which a predator intentionally builds a relationship with a vulnerable child in order to gain trust, access, and ultimately exploit and abuse the victim. Grooming is not harmless and often leaves negative lasting harm in a victim's life. By putting clear definitions of this behavior into statute, HB 4 will strengthen our ability to intervene earlier, hold offenders accountable, and better safeguard our children, their families, and our communities. House Bill 4 establishes clear criminal penalties based on both the age of the victim and the position of authority the perpetrator holds in regard to that victim. Under this bill, grooming of a minor is a Class A misdemeanor. Unless the victim is under the age of 12, the offense rises to a Class D felony. The bill also recognizes the heightened danger when a predator holds a position of authority over the child. In those cases, grooming becomes a Class D felony when the victim is under 18 and a Class C felony when the victim is under the age of 12. These distinctions matter because betrayal of trust compounds the harm and deepens the trauma. This bill draws a firm line, strengthens accountability, and sends an unmistakable message to those who prey on children. They will face serious consequences under Kentucky law. I would like to take a moment to thank the lady from Boone who worked diligently on this bill over the last year and through this legislative process. And I would also like to recognize the work of both the Senate and the House and the General Assembly in our continual effort to combat child abuse and exploitation. I am extremely proud to work with legislators on very important pieces of legislation that we have passed through our chambers focused on protecting Kentucky's kids. Mr. President, if there are no questions, I move for passage of House Bill 4 as amended by Senate Committee Substitute 1.
The matter before the body is passage of House Bill 4 as amended. Seeing no one seeking recognition, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Boswell. Senator Carpenter. Senator Carroll. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Clemens. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Elkins. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Girdler. Senator Givens. Senator Herron. Senator Higdon. Senator Howell. Senator Maiden. Senator Mays-Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Meredith. Senator Mills. Senator Neal. Senator Nemes. Senator Nunn. Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Rawlings. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith. Senator Stivers. Senator Storm. Senator Thomas. Senator Tishner. Senator Webb. Senator West. Senator Wheeler. Senator Williams. Senator Wilson. Senator Wise.
West is an aye. Okay. There being 38 yeas, no nays, House Bill 4 as amended by Senate Committee Substitute Number 1 is passed. Senator from Taylor, I think we have an Enrollment Committee report, so we will stop to do that. Senator from Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Enrollment Committee has met and finds the following bills are in order and ready for your signature. Senate Bill 59, Senate Bill 73, and Senate Bill 101, Mr. President.
Chair is ready to sign Senate Bill 101. Chair is ready to sign Senate Bill 73. Chair is ready to sign Senate Bill 59. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that House Bill 10 be taken from its place in the order of the day, read for the third time by title only, and placed upon its passage.
Mr. Clerk, please report House Bill 10.
House Bill 10, an act relating to state constitutional officer transitions.
Senator from Taylor.
President, I yield to the Senator from Henderson for explanation of the bill.
Senator from Henderson.
Mr. President, we're going to try to see if we can keep this rolling here with unanimous votes today. I have three in a row here, but House Bill 10 has a committee sub. If you could have the clerk please call it.
Mr. Clerk, please report Senate Committee Substitute number 1.
Senate Committee Sub 1 to House Bill 10.
Senator from Henderson.
Move adoption.
Matter for the body is adoption. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Chair is in doubt. All those in favor of Senate Committee Substitute number 1 say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No. The chair is not in doubt. Senate Committee Substitute number 1 is adopted. Senator from Henderson.
Well, Mr. President, it looks like we're back to normal here. So, Mr. President, as passed in the House, House Bill 10 deals with the period before and during the inauguration of the executive branch constitutional officers. It attempts to free the transition period from politics and possible real or perceived wrongdoing. It requires certain document retention enforced by the Attorney General. It protects whistleblowers. It provides certain contract oversight in the last 180 days and provides some guardrails for merit and non-merit movement employee movement during the last 180 days. Mr. President, the committee sub identifies several positions, boards, and commissions that will now require Senate confirmation moving forward to give these important appointed bodies and offices the subject matter focus that they need. Those areas are cabinet secretaries and several areas in education, the president of CPE, the chair of CPE, the chair of EPSB, the chair of the Kentucky State Board of Education, the chair and council members of the Curriculum Assessment and Accountability Council, the chair of Fish and Wildlife Commission, and the hiring of the agency's commissioner, commission and commissioner of the Department of Aviation, the commissioner of Housing, Building, and Construction, and their advisory council. Mr. President, these confirmation requirements shall go into effect April 16th, 2026. And finally, Mr. President, within the last 6 months of to the inauguration, all travel expenses of constitutional officers must be submitted to the treasurer for approval. The treasurer's travel expenses must be submitted to the auditor. Mr. President, that is a short summary of House Bill 10 as amended by Committee Sub 1, and I would ask that the body move for approval.
The matter for the body is passage of House Bill 10 as amended. Senator from Fayette, 13.
Mr. President, just to speak briefly against this bill.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this bill is clearly a attack on executive authority. I mean, we've never had this kind of bill in the history of our legislature, and there's no reason to do it now. First of all, this bill would require the governor to maintain for a year prior to his leaving contracts, appointments to board and commissions, permits and licenses, pardons, pay raises, litigation. You could go on. That is clearly an overreach of the authority that we grant a governor and assume that the governor is going to carry out legitimately. And we've never had a problem with a governor transition and moving forward with this. And in addition, it requires that all approval of all secretaries, Cabinet for Health and Family Services, Treasurer, Secretary of Transportation, Natural Resources and Environmental Protection, you name it, has to now get Senate confirmation. I don't know what that's about. Again, we've just always assumed that the governor can select his cabinet, whether that's been a Republican governor or a Democratic governor. We've had no problems with that. And as you can see by what we're doing after the end of this session, if we have some problems with that, there are procedures set forth in the Constitution to deal with any violations that take place. And then I would be remiss if I didn't say in this chamber and to the public that all constitutional officers, including the governor, has submitted all travel expenses requests to the state treasurer for the last 6 months of his or her term. We know what that's about. Now, I'm not going to be more specific than that at this point, but we know what that's about. And there's no indication that when the governor travels, he may be doing, or is likely to be doing, state business for the benefit of this state. So for all those reasons that I've just articulated, Mr. President, I think this bill is just an overreach and seeks to control the executive authority that we grant any governor, regardless of his or her party. And so that I'm going to encourage at least the members of my caucus to vote no.
Seeing no other person seeking recognition, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg.
Senator from Jefferson 26, please cast your vote, then explain, limited to 3 minutes.
I stand, sir, to explain my no vote.
Please proceed.
It would be the equivalent of us passing a law that says that the governor gets to choose who sits in leadership for the Republican Party. It makes no sense. It is an absolute overreach of authority, and I proudly vote no. Thank you.
Senator Boswell. Senator Carpenter. Senator Carroll. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Clemens. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Elkins. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Girdler. Senator Givens. Senator Herron. Senator Higdon. Senator Howell. Senator Maiden. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Meredith. Senator Mills.
Senator from Henderson, please cast your vote, then explain.
Mr. President, I proudly vote yes. And, we are working on our budget, and it's interesting. Every time we work on our budget, every 2 years, we have this line item that says Kentucky Wired. And I just want to remind you, Kentucky Wired contract was signed in the last 180 days of an outgoing administration, and has cost us hundreds of millions of dollars to the taxpayers of Kentucky. Those are the contracts that we're concerned about, and some of the other things that might and possibly might happen when an outgoing administration is occurring. Thank you.
Senator Neal. Senator Nemes. Senator Nunn. Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Rawlings. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith. Senator Stivers.
Aye.
Senator Storm. Senator Thomas. Senator Tishner. Senator Webb. Senator West. Senator Wheeler. Senator Williams.
Senator from Boone 20, please cast your vote, then explain, limited to 3 minutes.
My I vote will take quick explanation. Our founding fathers set up government that had a system of checks and balance. What this is about checks and balances. Did not limit executive authority. It puts other constitutional officers, gives them checks and balances. That's what the legislature is supposed to do. That is the strength of America and the strength of Kentucky. I thank the sponsors who brought this forth and proudly vote aye for the checks and balances of our multifaceted government.
Senator Wilson. Senator Wise.
How is an aye? Mays. Herron's a no. All members having voted, there being 32 yeas, 6 nays, House Bill 10 as amended is passed. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, please have the clerk report Senate Committee Title Amendment 1 to Senate Committee Sub 1 to House Bill 10.
Mr. Clerk, please report.
Senate Committee Title Amendment 1 to Senate Committee Sub 1 to House Bill 10.
Senator from Taylor.
Move for adoption.
Without objections, Senate Committee Title Amendment number 1 is adopted. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that House Bill 78 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title only, and placed upon its passage.
Mr. Clerk, if you would please report House Bill 78.
House Bill 78, an act relating to firearms liability protections and declaring an emergency.
Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I yield to the Senator from Shelby for explanation of the bill.
Senator from Shelby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today in support of House Bill 78 relating to firearms liability protections. This is a straightforward, common sense bill about fairness in our legal system. House Bill 78 reinforces existing federal protections that passed bipartisan in 2005 by making it clear that lawful manufacturers and sellers of firearms cannot be held liable for the criminal misuse of their products by a third party. At the same time, this bill does not remove accountability. If a manufacturer or seller breaks a law regulating this industry, engages in negligent entrustment, or produces a defective product, they can still be held responsible. What this bill does is stop the growing trend of trying to target lawful businesses for the actions of criminals that they do not control, with intent of bankrupting the Second Amendment. It also brings clarity to Kentucky law by defining when a claim can move forward and when it cannot, ensuring consistency and preventing abuse of the legal system. Mr. President, we do not hold Ford vehicle manufacturers responsible for drunk drivers. We do not hold tool companies responsible for crimes committed with their products. And we should not hold firearm manufacturers responsible for criminal acts that they did not commit. This bill protects lawful commerce, constitutional rights, and the integrity of our legal system. Mr. President, I respectfully ask for passage of House Bill 78. Thank you.
Senator from Shelby, we need to have an action on the committee substitute. New report.
Mr. President, could you have the clerk report Senate Committee Sub 1? Thank you.
Mr. Clerk, if you would
To
please
House Bill
report.
78. Thank you.
Senate Committee Sub 1 to House Bill 78.
Senator from Shelby.
Move for adoption.
The matter before the body is adoption of Senate Committee Substitute number 1. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Senate Committee Substitute number 1 is adopted. Now, Senator from Shelby, motion on the bill as amended.
Move adoption for House Bill 78 as amended.
The matter before the body is passage of House Bill 78 as amended.
Thank you, Mr.
Senator from Jefferson 26. You're seeking recognition?
Oh. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Would the senator from Shelby yield for a question?
Senator from Shelby, will you yield to a question?
Mr. President, the American people have yielded far too much ground already on the Second Amendment. Shall not be infringed is clear enough for me.
So is that a
I
no?
will not yield. No, sir.
He will not yield. Senator from Jefferson 26.
That's an interesting response. I will just let my constituents know what my question would have been. I wanted to know if there's any protections or any actions in here that could be taken against gun manufacturers for directly marketing to minor children, which is happening all over this country and is being allowed, and I think we need to put a limit on that. Thank you.
No other person seeking recognition. The matter for the body is passage of House Bill 78 as amended. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg. No. Senator Boswell. Senator Carpenter. Senator Carroll. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Clemens. No. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Elkins. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Girdler. Senator Givens. Senator Herron. Senator Higdon. Senator Howell. Senator Maiden. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Meredith. Senator Mills. Senator Neal. Senator Nemus. Senator Nunn. Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Rawlings. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith. Senator Stivers. Senator Storm. Senator Thomas. Senator Tishner. Senator Webb. Senator West. Senator Wheeler. Senator Williams.
Senator from Boone, 20. Please cast your vote, then explain. Limited to 3 minutes.
I'd just like to acknowledge I vote my yes vote. Excuse me. It's going to be short. We recently had a manufacturer move to Kentucky because of the favorable climate. Very large, very well-known manufacturer. And I want to remind everybody that, in fact, it was the Kentucky long rifle that turned the tide of the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812 and won the Battle of New Orleans. So we have a long history of manufacturing weapons of freedom.
Senator Wilson. Senator Wise.
Seeing no other person seeking recognition to cast, change, or explain their vote, there being 32 yeas, 6 nays, House Bill 78 as amended is passed. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that House Bill 139 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title only, and placed upon its passage.
Mr. Clerk, if you would, please report House Bill 139.
House Bill 139, an act relating to elections and declaring an emergency.
Senator from Taylor.
President, I yield to the Senator from Henderson for explanation of the bill.
Senator from Henderson.
Mr. President, could you have the clerk report Committee Sub 1 to House Bill 139?
Mr. Clerk, please report.
Senate Committee Sub 1 to House Bill 139.
Senator from Henderson.
Move adoption.
Matter for the body is adoption. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Ayes have it. Senate Committee Substitute number 1 is adopted. Senator from Henderson.
Okay, looks like I'm a popular guy again here. Mr. President, the House Bill 139 is subbed by Senate Committee Sub 1. The sub adds most of the language of House Bill 534 and changes the implementation date for the new process of identifying deceased and non-citizen voters until January 2028. It adds the language for Senate Bill 154, which we voted off this floor already this session, which improves our photo ID to vote. And it adds important updates to our campaign finance law to change the campaign contribution limits to match the federal limit. Changes contribution limits to state executive committee of political parties and caucus campaign committees from $5,000 to $10,000 and increases the cash contribution limit from $100 to $200. Mr. President, this bill, now amended House Bill 139, is a 120-page bill dealing with elections and election finance. Mr. President, I went way out of my way to give this 5-page, section-by-section summary of this bill to each member of the Senate to make sure that they understood what was in this bill, because it is a lot of information. Mr. President, I think all the things withheld in this bill improves our election process, which has been continuously improving for the last 4 or 5 years that we've been working on election law here in the Senate. Mr. President, I'd be happy to answer any questions, but if not, if there are no questions, I would just move for passage of House Bill 139 as amended by Committee Sub 1.
The matter before the body is passage of Senate Bill 139 as amended. Senator from Jefferson 19.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I speak against the motion?
Please proceed.
Thank you, sir. Before I get into my laundry list of things that I don't like about this bill, I first want to say some nice things about the senator from Henderson, because you might expect that at this time of year, whenever a 20 or 30 section bill grows into a 59 section bill, something like that, maybe it was 52 sections, that you might expect that I would be up here complaining about the process by which that bill changed. However, the senator from Henderson gave us a copy of the sub over a week before it was heard in committee. He provided us with a section-by-section summary, which I think is mostly accurate. Good work. And as we enter the final days of session, I just want to take a moment to say, as a member of the minority party, that I appreciate it and that matters. It matters that every member of this body have an understanding of the legislation that they are voting on, because each of us is sent here by over 100,000 people to be their voice. And for us to have legitimacy as a body and ensure that every person in the Commonwealth of Kentucky is adequately represented means that everyone should want every member of this body to have an understanding of the important legislation that the members are voting on. And so my sincere thanks to the senator from Henderson for including us in the process, even when I think when he handed me the proposed substitute, he said, "I think you'll like 80% of what's in the bill." That might have been a little high. However, I'm going to be a no today. I have no issues with underlying House Bill 139 that passed out of the House floor unanimously. However, the Senate committee substitute makes a number of changes that I believe are detrimental to our systems of elections. The first one I want to talk about are the provisions around data sharing with the federal government related to our election rolls, our voter rolls. And there are a few things about this provision that make me nervous. The first is that it just says we're going to enter into negotiations about this. It doesn't lay out enough specifics. When we are giving information about our voters to the federal government, I would like more information about that process, the goals and the limitations. We also know, speaking more substantively about what we have seen in other states that have done that, when you run these election rolls through this database, you end up getting a large number of false positives. Some of the estimates are as high as 25%. That means that 25% of the folks who are identified are actually legitimate people who should be able to vote, who are lawful voters in this state. However, there is not a clear process in the bill for what happens when those voters show up at the polls on election day, other than they can cast a provisional ballot. Now, a provisional ballot is a partial remedy, but it doesn't allow everyone to vote in every single race that they would otherwise be entitled to vote in, and it is not a perfect solution. I understand why we landed there, because quite frankly, when you have a lot of folks who are erroneously stripped off of the voter rolls and then show up at the polling places saying, "Hey, I'm a lawful voter," it takes a lot to handle that. You need to have a lot of systems in place. And those are expensive systems and systems that need to be vetted. However, they're not laid out in this bill. And so there's an incomplete solution to make sure that folks who are lawfully entitled to vote are able to do so. The other things about this bill that make me nervous, I think I said heartburn when I was talking about it in committee, and then I was quoted all over the media as having heartburn, so I'll say it makes me nervous, are some provisions around allowing judges to identify with a political party. I believe that it is important that the public believe that our judges are not political, that they are not partisan. We are the partisan political body. The executive is a partisan political body. Our judges who administer justice blindly should not be political actors in the system. Finally, you all have heard me talk at length, and I will not repeat my concerns about removing Social Security cards from the list of acceptable identity documents. I believe that Social Security cards, because they are either a primary or a secondary form of ID, to get a lot of the forms of ID that you can use to vote in our elections, are uniquely well situated. I know that on this floor we had a conversation about possibly there were some instances of people making false Social Security cards. There are likely instances of people trying to make false any kind of identification that we would put out there as a government body. However, Social Security cards compared to all other forms of identification, I would put them up there with passports, with real IDs, in terms of being a secure form of identification. And it worries me when we had many people that voted in our last election lawfully using that form of identification that we would take that away. And so for all of those reasons, and a few more that in the interest of time I will not go into, I'm going to be a no today. However, I do appreciate the senator from Henderson and his commitment to the democratic process. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other members seeking recognition? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg.
Senator from Jefferson, 26. Please cast your vote, then explain.
Explain my no vote, sir.
Please proceed.
I vote no, and I just want to make the point that this bill is actually meant to address something that never happened in this country. The election was not stolen. We do not need to fix this system. Thank you.
Senator Boswell. Senator Carpenter. Senator Carroll. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Clemens. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Elkins. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Girdler. Senator Givens. Senator Herron. Senator Higdon. Senator Howell. Senator Maiden. Senator Mays-Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Meredith. Senator Mills. Senator Neal. Senator Nemes. Senator Nunn. Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Rawlings. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith. Senator Stivers. Senator Storm. Senator Thomas. Senator Tishner. Senator Webb. Senator West. Senator Wheeler. Senator Williams. Senator Wilson. Senator Wise.
Seeing no members seeking recognition to cast, change, or explain their vote, there being 31 yeas, 6 nays, House Bill 139 as amended is passed. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that House Bill 398 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title only, and placed upon its passage.
Mr. Clerk, would you please report House Bill 398?
House Bill 398, an act relating to decommissioning costs for electric generating units.
Senator from Taylor.
President, I yield to the Senator from Henderson for explanation of the bill.
Senator from Henderson, you're recognized by the chair for purpose of action on House Bill 398 and amendments thereto.
Mr. President, I apologize to the Senate for having to listen to my raspy voice so much today, but I've got several bills here in a row. House Bill 398 has a committee sub. Could you have the clerk call that?
Mr. Clerk, please report.
Senate Committee Sub 1 to House Bill 398.
Senator from Henderson.
Mr. President, move adoption.
Motion for the bodies on adoption of the committee sub. All those in favor of the motion for adoption say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Senate Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Senator from Henderson.
Mr. President, I think this body knows my affinity for coal and fossil fuels, and we've worked through several bills over the last 3 or 4 years related to that. And a couple of the bills, Senate Bill 4 and Senate Bill 349, that we worked through prior to this current federal administration, dealt with trying to save our coal-fired plants and trying to make sure that we had plenty of electricity in Kentucky and throughout the United States, and not shutting down some of these coal-fired plants. Well, luckily we have a new federal administration that sees things eye to eye with many of us in the Kentucky State Senate, and they're starting to work to keep these coal-fired generation plants available. Since the passage of Senate Bill 4, the Public Service Commission has been denying our utilities the ability to collect what's called a terminal net salvage charge. Mr. President, this is a complicated accounting entry that deals with the depreciation and is part of a cost of utilities operating their plant. Mr. President, this bill passed over in the Senate, but when it came over here, had some concerns. Some of our staffers had some concerns as well that this, the language in this bill might undermine Senate Bill 4, Senate Bill 349 in making it look like that certain coal-fired plants were ready for retirement when in fact they are not. So, Mr. President, the sub that we put on Senate Committee Sub 1 to House Bill 398 just simply states the fact that just because they're collecting this fee and just because the fee ends at a certain amount of time, whether it's over 20 years or 30 years, that does not mean that the coal-fired plant is past its useful life. We want these plants to continue to burn and to continue to move electrons back and forth to our homes and our businesses as long as they can. Mr. President, that is what the sub on House Bill 398 is about. I'd be happy to try to answer questions if anyone has questions related to this, but I would just move for passage of House Bill 398 as amended by Committee Sub 1.
Motion for the body is on the passage of House Bill 398 as amended. Any member seeking recognition to speak on the motion for passage? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Boswell. Senator Carpenter. Senator Carroll. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Clemens. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Elkins. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Girdler. Senator Givens. Senator Herron. Senator Higdon. Senator Howell. Senator Maiden. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Meredith. Senator Mills. Senator Neal. Senator Nemus. Senator Nunn. Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Rawlings. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith. Senator Stivers. Senator Storm. Senator Thomas. Senator Tishner. Senator Webb. Senator West. Senator Wheeler. Senator Williams. Senator Wilson. Senator Wise.
Any member seeking recognition to cast, change, or explain their vote? Seeing none, there being 30 aye votes, 6 no votes, House Bill 398 as amended is passed. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that House Bill 781 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title only, and placed upon its passage.
Mr. Clerk, please report House Bill 781.
House Bill 781, an act relating to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, Employment and Training State Plan.
Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I yield to the Senator from Campbell for explanation of the bill.
From Campbell, you're recognized for the purpose of action on House Bill 781.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just like to speak on the bill for a moment and share with the body. We gathered during the interim with 6 actually 8 members with the Make America Healthy Task Force focused on Kentucky. And in particular, we were very focused on nutrition. What factor does nutrition play in the wellness of Kentucky, but also on our workforce? During that discussion, we quickly recognized that the SNAP program in Kentucky has so many benefits, and while a person may be eligible for SNAP, they may also not be working at the optimal level that they could be. So yes, people that are eligible for SNAP may in fact be working, but then there are many that are not. House Bill 781 was meant to inspire and focus more dollars towards that workforce training aspect that is available with SNAP. It's truly our desire to accomplish 3 things. High workforce participation is often going to require you to be healthy and nourished to show up to work and to be a consistent, reliable performer on your job. Secondly, in order for us to maximize the value of SNAP and how we might spend that on healthy and nourishing food, we want to look for and recognize that sometimes the most economical choice is grown locally by your farmer. And we want to work on some creative incentives that may even promote farm prosperity, rural prosperity, and the overall health of Kentuckians. And then thirdly, if the federal government provides 100% matching funds that will qualify when a private partner puts SNAP funds, puts money towards this employment and training program, then Kentucky could be in fact recognized to pursue some of the finest workforce training for those folks that are participating with SNAP, both then benefiting employment and nutrition incentives. So, Mr. President, our efforts to not punish people that are on SNAP and reduce what their opportunities of what they could spend their dollar on, but in fact promote that you no longer need that financial support that SNAP offers, because you're now working optimally, you're earning optimally, you're jumping out of bed and going to work in the morning. That's the effort of House Bill 781. So our first step will be to establish the framework. We'll work with the cabinet so that we can receive those matching dollars for the SNAP employment and training state plan. This uses no state funds and is simply using a federal match of private funds. From this working group, we will see additional ideas and framework towards these initiatives. A very meaningful, very positive program, Mr. President. And with that, I move for the passage of House Bill 781.
Motion for the body is on the final passage of House Bill 781. Any member seeking recognition to speak on the motion for passage? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Boswell. Senator Carpenter. Senator Carroll. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Clemens. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Elkins. Senator Funky Frommeyer. Senator Girdler. Senator Givens.
Aye.
Senator Herron. Senator Higdon. Senator Howell. Senator Maiden. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Meredith. Senator Mills. Senator Neal. Senator Nemes. Senator Nunn. Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Rawlings. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith. Senator Stivers. Senator Storm. Senator Thomas. Senator Tishner. Senator Webb. Senator West. Senator Wheeler. Senator Williams. Senator Wilson. Senator Wise.
Any member seeking recognition to cast, change, or explain their vote? Any other member seeking recognition? Seeing none, there being 37 aye votes, no nay votes, House Bill 781 is finally passed. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I'd like to make the motion that we will pass over the following, that being House Bill 6, House Joint Resolution 50, House Bill 490, House Bill 567, and House Bill 607, but I ask that they retain their place.
Record will reflect that the aforementioned House bills will be passed over and retain their place in the orders of the day. Chair hearing no objection to that motion. So from Taylor, let's take a moment and have the board accurately reflect the motion that's been made. Very well. Senator from Taylor, it appears that our record will reflect the motion accurately, and the board reflects as such too.
Mr. President, with that, that concludes the orders of the day.
Thank you, sir. The next order of business is meeting of Rules Committee and Committee on Committees. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I make the motion that Senate recess for a meeting of the Rules Committee and Committee on Committees at the clerk's desk, please.
This Senate shall stand in recess until the call of the chair for the aforementioned committee meetings at the clerk's desk. Senate will come to order. The next order of business is report of committees. Mr. Clerk, please report.
For Thursday, March 26th, 2026, the Rules Committee has met and posted these bills to the regular orders for Friday, March 27th, 2026. House Bill 36, House Bill 67, House Bill 176, House Bill 257, House Bill 627, House Bill 658, House Bill 669. And also the Rules Committee has posted these bills to the consent orders for Friday, March 27th, 2026. House Bills 3, 5, 142, 144, 169, 178, 212, 313, 387, 521, 542, 571, 642, 676, 689, 692, 727, 778, and House Joint Resolution 24. Also, the Committee on Committees has made these referrals for Thursday, March 26th, 2026, to the Transportation Committee, House Bill 425, to the Senate floor, Senate Resolutions 190, 191, 192, 194, 195, and 196. And also, the Committee on Committees has made this reassignment, bill taken from Appropriations and Revenue and reassigned to Health Services is House Bill 2. And also I have a delivery to the governor. These bills were delivered to the governor at 3:16 p.m., March 26, 2026. Senate Bill 59, Senate Bill 73, Senate Bill 101.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business is motions, petitions, communications, resolutions, and announcements. Members seeking recognition under this order of business. Senator from Scott, what purpose?
Communicate with the body, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Today is one of my favorite days. It is opening day of the Major League Baseball season. And because of that, I'm wearing a very special tie. It's a tie that has one of my favorite things in the world, baseball, on it. It is gifted to me by my friend, the senator from Pulaski, last year. And so it's a very special tie to me, and I shall wear it every year on opening day from here forward. I love baseball for a lot of reasons. I love the game. I love the sights. I love the sounds. I love the smells. But there's a lot of great life lessons to be learned from the game. Number one, it's a team sport. And I think everybody understands the importance and the things you can learn from playing a team sport. It teaches you a lot. But it's also a sport in which you succeed or fail all on your own. When you're at the plate, no one helps you. You succeed or you fail all on your own. And that's an important life lesson at times. It's also a game that's designed to make you fail. A 300 hitter will make the Hall of Fame. So again, it teaches you about perseverance. And things don't always go your way, but you come back for the next day. And so I think there's some great life lessons from that game. It's such a great game that Herman Melville and Walt Whitman both wrote about baseball, and I didn't have to Google that Herman Melville wrote Moby Dick. I did know that, and also know that Walt Whitman wrote Leaves of Grass. I didn't have to Google either of those things, but I did have to Google the quotes to get them just right. So Walt Whitman wrote, "Baseball is our game, the American game. I connect it with our national character." And while it's a great quote, I actually prefer a quote from a fictional author, Terrence Mann, in the movie Field of Dreams. He said, "The one constant through all the years has been baseball. Baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, it's part of our past. It reminds us of all that once was good and could be good again." So that, Mr. President, I just wanted to get up and, again, just recognize that today is the start of the Major League Baseball season, and we've got many more exciting months ahead of us. Thank you, Mr. President.
Play ball. Senator from Jefferson 33, what purpose?
Mr. President, I have resolutions. I would ask you to request that the clerk call Resolution 83.
Mr. Clerk, please report Senate Resolution 83 by title.
Senate Resolution 83, resolution honoring police officer Nick Wilt on the occasion of his retirement from the Louisville Metro Police Department. Senator Neal.
Senator from Jefferson 33.
Move adoption.
Hearing no objection, Senate Resolution 83 is adopted. Senator from Jefferson 33.
Mr. President, I request that you ask the clerk to report Senate Resolution 89 by title only.
Mr. Clerk, please report Senate Resolution 89 by title.
Senate Resolution 89, a resolution honoring the members of the 6,888th Central Postal Directory Battalion for its outstanding service to the United States during World War II.
Senator from Jefferson 33.
Move adoption.
Motion for the body's adoption of the resolution. Hearing no objection, Senate Resolution 89 is adopted. Senator from Jefferson 33.
Lastly, Mr. President, I request that you ask the clerk to report Senate Resolution 177 by title only.
Mr. Clerk, please report Senate Resolution 177 by title.
Senate Resolution 177, a resolution honoring the Kentucky Association for Environmental Education on the occasion of its 50th anniversary. Senator Neal.
Senator from Jefferson 33.
Move adoption.
Motion for the body's adoption of the resolution. Hearing no objection, Senate Resolution 177 is also adopted. Senator from Clay, what purpose?
Communicate with the body, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, I've been on this floor several times talking about our retiring United States Senator Mitch McConnell. Today, and it will be read into the record in a few minutes, I have filed a resolution. It is a simple resolution. It does not carry the force of law, anything like that, that would request that the commission consider Senator McConnell to be the fourth statute in the rotunda when it opens back up in several years. I do this because there's not been anybody any more influential in the last century or this century in the state of Kentucky, or maybe in the history of the state of Kentucky, as Senator McConnell has been. People won't understand the influence that he has had probably till long after he has been gone, except maybe for people who watch politics and are involved in political situations like we are. But on many occasions, I've said that we would not have a road plan. The senator from Marion could talk about this. We wouldn't be able to be doing the blacktopping or discussing bridges or roads, but for the fact that Senator McConnell was able to cut a deal to bring the Brent Spence Bridge into northern Kentucky without tolling or contribution from the state of Kentucky. This resolution is a resolution to start the discussion about he being put in the rotunda as when it opens as one of the most influential political people of our time and for the state of Kentucky. It's the purpose of this resolution, but also understanding that we can't control based on a resolution, but I am making sure everybody knows I'm going to do what I can do to create the dynamics and the space to make sure that happens if possible. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator from Clay. Senator from Campbell, what purpose?
Mr. President, I just wanted to communicate with the body.
Please proceed.
The Kentucky State Police Professional Association is going to offer breakfast tomorrow. That's an unexpected addition to their schedule, but we want to appreciate them, and it starts at 7 a.m. and goes until 9 a.m. I hope everyone will join me.
Members, please take note. Senator from Taylor, what purpose?
Motions, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, I move that House Bill 236 be taken from the Licensing and Occupations Committee, given its first reading, and returned to the Licensing and Occupations Committee.
Mr. Clerk, please report House Bill 236.
House Bill 236, an act relating to medical services.
Let the record reflect that House Bill 236 has been taken from the Licensing and Occupations Committee, given a first reading, and returned to said committee. Senator from Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also make the motion that I move that House Bills 647, House Bill 651, House Bill 816, and House Joint Resolution 81 all be taken from the Appropriations and Revenue Committee, given their second reading, and returned to the Appropriations and Revenue Committee.
Mr. Clerk, please read into the record a second reading of the aforementioned bills.
House Bill 647, an act relating to economic relief for local communities of the Commonwealth and declaring an emergency. House Bill 651, an act relating to public water and wastewater systems and declaring an emergency. House Bill 816, an act relating to authorizing the payment of certain claims against the state which have been duly audited and approved according to law and have not been paid because of lapsing or insufficiency of former appropriations against which the claims were chargeable, or the lack of an appropriate procurement document in place, making an appropriation therefore and declaring an emergency. And House Joint Resolution 81, a joint resolution authorizing the release of funds and declaring an emergency.
Let the record reflect that House Bill 647, House Bill 651, House Bill 816, and House Joint Resolution 81 have all received a second reading and returned to committee. Thank you, Senator from Taylor. Senator from Madison, what purpose?
Resolution, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Ask the clerk to report Senate Resolution 179 by title only.
Mr. Clerk, please report Senate Resolution 179 by title.
Senate Resolution 179, a resolution adjourning the Senate in honor and loving memory of Tristan Marquise York Brown.
Senator from Madison.
Move for the adoption.
Motion for the body is on adoption of the resolution. Hearing no objection, Resolution 179 is adopted. Senator from Madison, you have further need?
I do. It goes along with the same one. Ask the clerk to report Senate Concurrent Resolution 180 by title only.
Mr. Clerk, please report Senate Concurrent Resolution 180 by title.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 180, a concurrent resolution establishing the Commercial Motor Vehicle Task Force.
Senator from Madison.
Move for adoption.
Motion for the body is on adoption of the resolution. Chair hearing no objection, the resolution is ruled to have been adopted. Senate Concurrent Resolution 180 is adopted. Thank you, sir. Senator from Perry, what purpose?
Mr. President, I would like to act on a resolution if I could.
Please proceed.
I'd like to ask the clerk to report Senate Resolution 174 and read it in its entirety, please.
Mr. Clerk, please report Senate Resolution 174 and read it in its entirety.
Senate Resolution 174, resolution adjourning the Senate in honor and loving memory of Henry Nicholas Nick Baker. Whereas Nick Baker was born in Hazard, Kentucky, and grew up on his family's farm in Viper, Kentucky. And whereas Nick Baker made Louisville his home for 66 years and practiced law for 50. Whereas Nick Baker graduated from Georgetown College in 1959, where he was a member of Kappa Alpha Order, and graduated from the University of Louisville Brandeis School of Law in 1966. Whereas Nick Baker joined the U.S. Army at Fort Knox in 1959, served 6 months of active duty in the 100th Training Division, and was a reservist until 1965. Whereas Nick Baker was a firm believer in civic duty, and he served the Commonwealth as a senator of the 38th District in the Kentucky State Senate from 1970 to 1978. And whereas while serving in the Senate, Nick Baker introduced Senate Bill 73, which required any school with a men's basketball team that receives state funds to also establish a women's team. Whereas Senate Bill 73 brought girls basketball back to Kentucky high schools after a 42-year lapse, changing the lives of countless aspiring female athletes, opening doors to Kentucky girls who might not have been able to afford post-secondary education, and enabling women to contribute in immeasurable ways to Kentucky's society and community. Whereas Nick Baker was a man of deep religious faith, being a longtime member of the Louisville Historic Calvary Episcopal Church, where he served on the vestry twice. Whereas Nick Baker's greatest joys in life came from his family, and he is survived by his loving wife of 51 years, Susan Henson Baker, and 3 children, Henry, Sarah, and Matthew, and 2 grandchildren, Sophia and Valentina, and brother Kenneth and sister-in-law Louisa and brother-in-law Ed, and much-loved nieces and nephews. And whereas Nick Baker was preceded in death by his mother, Roberta Brashear Baker, and his father, Mark Baker, both of Hazard. And now therefore be it resolved by the Senate of the General Assembly of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the Senate hereby joins with Senator Brandon Smith in expressing its most profound sympathy upon the passing of Henry Nicholas Nick Baker and extends its heartfelt condolences to his family in this time of loss.
Senator from Perry.
Mr. President, I will refer to Nick as Senator Baker now. I had heard about the senator from Hazard for all these years, but I couldn't find him because he was actually the senator from 38. But I think for all of us in here who have had children, daughters that have played basketball, it is a nice nod back to the past that this gentleman revived this sport to give our daughters a chance and many others in this state to be able to participate in this sport again and enjoy it the way they do. And he was lost to us for a period of time. So it's so neat that he'd come back into our life, and just to take a minute on this floor to indulge me by having it read and shed a light on his wonderful life. And with that said, I move for adoption of Senate Joint Resolution 174.
Motion for the body is on the adoption of the resolution. Chair hears no objection to the motion for adoption. The resolution is adopted. Thank you, Senator from Perry. Any other member seeking recognition on this order of business? Seeing none, the next order of business is introduction of floor amendments. Mr. Clerk, please read into the record any new floor amendments.
Senate Floor Amendment 2 to House Bill 6, Senator Carroll. Senate Floor Amendment 2 to House Bill 36 with Senate Committee Sub 1, Senator Rocky Adams. Senate Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 176, Senator Wise. Senate Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 422 with Senate Committee Sub 1, Senator Storm. Senate Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 567 with Senate Committee Sub 1, Senator Deneen. Senate Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 627 with Senate Committee Sub 1, Senator Storm. Senate Floor Amendment 2 to House Bill 627, Senator Storm. Senate Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 759, Senator Williams. Senate Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 762 with Senate Committee Sub 1, Senator Deneen. Senate Floor Amendment 2 title to House Bill 762, Senator Deneen.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business is introduction of new resolutions. Mr. Clerk, please read into the record any new resolutions.
Senate Resolution 202, a resolution honoring Shawnee Chief Nanhelima Hokolesqua as part of the Women's History Month, Senator Thomas. Senate Resolution 203, resolution honoring the extraordinary life and centennial milestone of Geraldine Bubby Litvin Schaefer, Senator Berg. And Senate Resolution 204, resolution recommending that a permanent statue of Mitch McConnell be placed in the new state capitol rotunda, Senator Stivers.
Next order of business is adjournment. Any members seeking recognition before our final order of business for the day? Seeing none, Senator from Taylor, I believe a motion is in order, sir.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate adjourn until 9 a.m. Friday, March the 27th, year of our Lord, 2026.
The Senate shall stand adjourned until 9 a.m. Friday, March the 27th, year of our Lord, 2026.